brother. Oh, man. Look what you done. I'm a motherfucking star boy. Look what you done. I'm a motherfucking star boy. I'm a mother star boy. Well. Look what you done. I'm a motherfucking star boy. Hello. I'm a motherfucking star boy. Look what you done. Look what you done. Well, see if I can do this. I did not see Channel Zero yet. No. I heard good things, though. Oh, jeez. Hello, and welcome to watching me record. Yeah. I got asked today to, got an email asking me to audition for this book. So I'm gonna try it, I guess. And hopefully make some money. You guys ready for this? You guys ready for the exciting behind the scenes entertainment of me recording and screwing up a whole bunch? This is supposed to be a scary book, so we'll see how it goes. Ow. I think I pulled a muscle. Man down. You're gonna hear a lot of me drinking water, so it's gonna be gross. This is gonna be a gross stream. Alright. See, how should I do this? Are you awake? Are you awake? Are you awake? I'm a motherfucking star boy. Look what you done. Yeah, they're missing out. All right. Levels look good to me. Okay. Chapter 3. Shane, September 15th, 1982. Are you awake? Shane sat up and turned on his light. His heart beat quickly, and he looked around his large room. The curtains were drawn on the tall windows. His books were lined neatly on his shelves. Legos were scattered across the floor by the old fireplace. Are you awake? The voice asked again. Shane twisted around in his bed. Neither his mother nor his father was in the room. His room. Oops. Neither his mother nor his father was in his room. He was alone. He couldn't tell where the voice came from. His mouth was dry, so he swallowed, wet his lips with his tongue, and said in a low voice, I'm awake. Good, the voice said. It came from behind his dresser. Why is it good? Shane asked. Because they don't want you here, the voice said. They don't want you here. His heart thumped heavily and managed to ask, Who? Don't ask, the voice said. I want you here. I'm lonely. Shane tried to speak but couldn't. The sound of his blood as it rushed through him nearly drowned out his own thoughts. Why are you lonely? Shane whispered. He whispered. Why are you lonely? Shane whispered. I've been here a long time. Such a very long time. The bureau started to move, inch by inch, into the room. It swung out slowly from the wall, and a dark shadow appeared. It took Shane a moment to realize there was a passage in the wall. It took Shane a moment to realize there was a passage in the wall. A soft scrape. All this alliteration, man. A soft scrape slipped out of the darkness, and it was quickly followed by a sigh. The speaker stepped into the room. A girl, perhaps 8 or 9, and dead. Dead. She smelled like death. She smelled like death, and her skin was shrunken, pulled tight across her bones. Her lips were stretched in a gruesome smile, and long teeth protruded from her yellow jawbone. I'm lonely, she said, stepping into the room. Bits of fabric fell from her ragged gray dress. Her brown hair was tied back with a faded red bow, and the bones of her feet cracked as she walked. I'm lonely. I want to play. Shane closed his eyes, opened his mouth, and screamed. Suddenly Suddenly, his bedroom door was thrown open and bounced against the wall, and Shane opened his eyes. His father and mother charged into the room, their faces puffy with sleep and their hair disheveled. "Oh my God, Hank," his mother said, pointing to the bureau. "What the hell?" his father asked. I can't say asked. I say asked every time. "What the hell?" his father asked. His father walked to the bureau as his mother hurried to Shane. Shane sank into his mother's arms and shook as she held him tightly. From the protection of his mother's embrace, Shane watched his father. "There's a passage," his father said, looking back at Shane and his mother. Fiona, there's a passage here." "What?" she asked. "Are you sure?" "Positive. Looks like we put his bureau against a door of some sort. Couldn't even tell you. Couldn't even tell. You'd think it was part of the wainscoting or..." It's either wainscoting or wainscoting, and I'm gonna go ahead and say scoting. Because I'm American. But I'm gonna do the whole part again. Boop! "Positive. Looks like we put his bureau against a door of some sort. Couldn't even tell. Couldn't even tell. You'd think it was part of the wainscoting. Hell, I did." Shane's father leaned into the dark hole. Ooh. Shane's father leaned into the dark hole the dead girl had come from. His father backed out and looked at his mother. "It's a real passage, Fiona. I can't see much in there right now, but... I thought I saw lights. It's just wide enough for someone to walk through." "Servant's passage?" she asked. What was that? She asked. "Must be," he answered. Shane watched as his father pushed the bureau back into place. It wasn't in any of the forms, Hank," Shane's mother said. "There wasn't anything about servants' passages, just their quarters." "Yeah," his father said. "I know." Shane's shakes... This kind of alliteration, I swear. It gets me every time. What's going on over here? Where was I? Boop. Shane's shake slowly went away, and his father came and sat down on the bed beside him. "Did you get scared, kid?" his father asked. Shane nodded. "Would have scared me too," his father said. "There was a girl," Shane whispered. "What?" his mother asked. "A girl. A dead girl," Shane said. "Shane," his father started, and Shane heard the "now you're 7, so you need to be a big boy" voice, but his mother interrupted him. "Hank," she said, her voice harsh. "Not now." "Okay, Fiona. Okay," his father said with a sigh. Oh, maybe I should do it with a sigh then. Okay. "Okay, Fiona. Okay," his father said with a sigh. "Is there any way you can block the bureau so it won't pop open again?" his mother asked. "I'll figure it out," Shane's father said, nodding. "Good. Shane," his mother said, "do you want me to lie down with you for a bit?" Do you want me to lie down with you for a bit?" Shane clung to his mother and nodded. Shane clung to his mother and nodded. I like that one better. All right. Pause that. Thank you, Tony and Robin and Duchess Dark and Swagabomb that was here. I'm a motherfucking star boy. Look what you done. Ow. Ugh. So how are you guys doing? I'm like checking my phone and stuff. uh, mm, mm. Motherfucking style boy. It's really good. I really like Daft Punk. And The Weeknd's good, so all is gravy. Good. Everyone is good. I'm further back from the mic, as you can probably tell. Sorry. Unless this thing's actually picking up quite a bit. I'm gravy. You want me to read some Edgar Allan Poe? I can do that for you. We want the Raven. You've been looking for my channel. Can you guys hear that? I think my brother's using a blender or something. I never know how much this microphone can actually pick up. Look what you done. Star boy. Mm. All right, let's see. I'm gonna set this up real quick. Well, where is it? That doesn't look good. I don't know what I'm doing. Alright, well, I don't know how to figure this out. Alright, I'll read a little bit of Edgar Allan Poe. So take a break from recording because, let's see. Once upon a midnight dreary, while I pondered, weak and weary, over many a quaint and curious volume of forgotten lore, while I nodded, nearly napping, suddenly there came a tapping, as of someone gently rapping at my chamber door. "'Tis some visitor," I muttered, tapping at my chamber door. Only this, and nothing more. Ah, distinctly I remember it was in the bleak December, and each separate dying ember wrought its ghost upon the floor. Eagerly I wished the morrow, vainly I had sought to borrow from my books what? Surcease of sorrow, sorrow for the lost Lenore, for the rare and radiant maiden whom the angels name Lenore, nameless here, forevermore. And the silken, sad, uncertain rustling of each purple curtain thrilled me, filled me with fantastic terrors never felt before. So that now, to still the beating of my heart, I stood repeating, "'Tis some visitor entreating entrance at my chamber door. Some late visitor entreating entrance at my chamber door. This is it, and nothing more." Presently my soul grew stronger, hesitating then no longer. "Sir," and I, or "Madam, truly your forgiveness I implore. But the fact is I was napping, and so gently you came rapping, and so faintly you came tapping at my chamber door, that I scarce was sure I heard you. Here I opened wide the door. Darkness there, and nothing more. Deep into that darkness peering, long I stood there wondering, fearing, doubting, dreaming dreams no mortal ever dared to dream before. But the silence was unbroken, and the stillness gave no token, and the only word there spoken was the whispered word, "Lenore." This I whispered, and an echo murmured back the word, "Lenore." Merely this, and nothing more. Back into the chamber turning, all my soul within me burning, soon again I heard a tapping somewhat louder than before. "Surely," said I, "surely that is something at my window lattice. Let me see then what thereat is, and this mystery explore. Let my heart be still a moment, and this mystery explore. 'Tis the wind and nothing more." Open here, I flung the shutter, when with many a flirt and flutter in there stepped a stately raven of the saintly days of yore. Not the least obseisance made he, not a minute stopped or stayed he, but with mine of lord or lady perched above my chamber door, perched upon a bust of Pallas just above my chamber door, perched and sat, and nothing more. Then this ebony bird beguiling my sad fancy into smiling by the grave and stern decorum of this countenance it wore. "Though thy crest be shorn and shaven, thou," I said, "art sure no craven, ghastly grim and ancient raven wandering from the nightly shore. Tell me what the lordly name is on the night's Plutonian shore." Quoth the raven, "Nevermore." Much I marveled this ungainly fowl to hear discourse so plainly, though its answer little meaning, little relevancy bore. For we cannot help agreeing that no living human being ever yet was blessed with seeing bird above his chamber door, bird or beast upon the sculptured bust above his chamber door, with such a name as Nevermore. But the raven, sitting lonely on this placid bust, spoke only that one word, as if his soul in that one word he did outpour. Nothing farther that he uttered, not a feather then he fluttered, till I scarcely more than muttered, Other friends have flown before. On the morrow he will leave me, as my hopes have flown before. Then the bird said, Nevermore. Startled at the stillness broken by reply so aptly spoken, Doubtless, said I, what it utters is its only stock and store, caught from some unhappy master, whom unmerciful disaster followed fast and followed faster, till his songs one burden bore, till the dirges of his hope that melancholy burden bore, of nevermore. But the raven still beguiling all my fancy into smiling, straight I wheeled a cushioned seat in front of bird and bust and door. Then upon the velvet sinking, I betook myself to linking fancy unto fancy, thinking what this ominous bird of yore, what this grim, ungainly, ghastly, gaunt, and ominous bird of yore meant and croaking, Nevermore. This I sat engaged in guessing, but no syllable expressing to the fowl whose fiery eyes now burned into my bosom's core. This and more I sat divining, with my head at ease reclining on the cushion's velvet lining, with that lamplight gloated o'er, but whose velvet violet lining with the lamplight gloating o'er she shall press, nevermore. Then, methought, the air grew denser, perfumed from an unseen censer, swung by seraphim whose footfalls tinkled on the tufted floor. Wretch, I cried, thy God hath lent thee, by these angels he hath sent thee, respite and nepenthe from thy memories of Lenore. It should be respite. Quaff, oh quaff this kind nepenthe, and forget this lost Lenore. Quoth the raven, Nevermore. Prophet, said I, thing of evil, prophet still, if bird or devil, whether tempter sent or whether tempest tossed thee here ashore, desolate yet all undaunted, on this desert land enchanted, on this home by horror haunted, tell me truly, I implore, is there balm in Gilead? Tell me, I implore. Quoth the raven, Nevermore. Prophet, said I, thing of evil. Prophet still, if bird or devil, by that heaven that bends above us, by that God we both adore. Tell this soul with sorrow laden, if within the distant Aidenn it shall clasp a sainted maiden whom the angels name Lenore. Clasp a rare and radiant maiden whom the angels name Lenore. Quoth the raven, Nevermore. Be that word our sign of parting, bird or fiend, I shrieked, upstarting. Get thee back into the tempest and the night's Plutonian shore. Leave no black plume as a token of that lie that thy soul hath spoken. Leave my loneliness unbroken, quit the bust above my door. Take the beak from out my heart, and take thy form from off my door. Quoth the raven, Nevermore. And the raven, never flitting, still is sitting on the pallid bust of Pallas just above my chamber door. And his eyes have all the seeming of a demon's that is dreaming, and the lamplight o'er him streaming throws his shadow on the floor. And my soul from out that shadow that lies floating on the floor shall be lifted nevermore. That was fun. I'm sure everyone left. Alright. I'm gonna do the rest of this thing. I'm a motherfucking star boy. You gotta have at least one good burp in when you're recording. Chapter 15. Why He Returned. Shane was afraid. He sat in his old bed, a book beside him. His cigarettes and lighter stood beside his bottle of whiskey and tumbler. Ooh. Oh, I guess he's older now. His cigarettes and lighter stood beside his bottle of whiskey and a tumbler. Shane had made sure to move the bureau away from the servant's door. He had removed the nails from every door he could find. Soon Shane would have to speak with them. Almost all of them. And he didn't want them in a bad mood. They're grumpy enough as it is, he thought with a sigh. He looked down at his book, The Moon is Down by John Steinbeck, and he wondered idly if he could concentrate enough to read. Read it. He looked down at his book, The Moon is Down by John Steinbeck, and he wondered idly if he could concentrate enough to read. He doubted it, and he doubted they would give him the opportunity. Eloise was pleased he had returned. Carl was happy he had come back. And the old man, well, who knew with the old man? The real question, however, was whether or not Shane would be allowed to find his parents, or at least learn what had happened to them. Shane leaned back against his pillows and looked at the lights in his room. He had 3 of them plugged in, as well as his fan, which droned on silently. That's not what that says. He had 3 of them plugged in, as well as his fan, which droned on slowly, as if oscillate. He had 3 of them plugged in, as well as his fan, which droned on slowly as it oscillated from left to right and back again. For decades, the lights and fan had helped him sleep. In the Marines, he had been too exhausted. To not sleep well. On the rare occasions where sleep attempted to avoid him, well, the raucous noise of his Marine brethren had lulled him into rest. Shane closed his eyes, listened to the white noise of the fan, and waited. He didn't know if he had fallen asleep, or if they had waited only for him to seem at rest. What? He didn't know if he had fallen asleep, or if they had waited only for him to seem at rest. Regardless as to what occurred, his thoughts were brought back into focus by the strange squeak of the servant's door. Memories of childhood, of his screams as they ricocheted off walls, it all came back to him with brutal force. The fear evoked by the hidden portal was visceral and primal. Shane was no longer a man of 40 returned to his parents' home, but a child of 8, trapped in the Star Wars sheets of his bed. Nice. Shane was forced to keep his eyes closed. Silently, he counted the seconds as they dragged by, carried along with the scratching of his old bureau on the wood floor. 7 seconds exactly, and the noise ceased. Shane? Oh no, that's not right at all. Shine? Is that you, Shine? It's fun. Cool. Good. What am I doing? I'm a motherfucking star boy. Need to figure out this voice. Need to figure out this voice. Okay. Shane, Eloise said. Hello, Eloise, Shane replied, keeping his eyes closed. Why won't you look at me? She asked playfully. Are you afraid, Shane? Always, he answered truthfully. The dead girl laughed and a boy asked. The dead girl laughed and a boy asked, Why have you come back to us, Shane? Thaddeus, Shane thought. I need answers. He said he said aloud, I need to know where my parents are, Thaddeus. Thaddeus said, and Shane could picture the dead boy's frown. Your parents are exactly where she wants them to be. Who is she? Shane asked, his heart beating excitedly. The girl in the pond, Eloise whispered. Oh. The girl in the pond, Eloise whispered. She is she. Yes, Thaddeus said. She likes your parents where they are. They're nearly quite mad, you know. Shane stiffened and opened his eyes. As he did so, the lights flicked out and the fan stopped. Shane's breathing was terribly loud. The room was black, too dark for him to see anything, but he could smell them. The stale air odor which lingered about the two children. He knew it well. May I see my parents? He managed to ask after he peered into the darkness for a moment. You may, Thaddeus said, chuckling. Or you may not. It is her decision, Shane, not ours. How do I ask permission? Nope. How do I ask her permission? Shane asked. Neither of the ghosts answered him. How do I ask for permission? Shane snapped, trying to keep the rage and excitement out of his voice. You don't want to ask, Shane, Eloise whispered. You don't ever want to talk to her. No. No. Thaddeus agreed. Best to forget about your parents for now, Shane. They will keep, and you must as well. Not everyone is pleased to see you've returned. And that's it. Oh no. Oh no. How about fix this? Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Mm mm mm. Mm mm mm. Boop boop. Oh. Oh my. Okay. I think that'll do it. Good stream, everyone. Everyone, good stream. We did it. Probably delete this. It's crap. Everyone have a nice night. Maybe I will edit this later and stream that too. Why not? Until then, stay frosty.